Here in recent months, you could probably guess it has to do with a vehicle. And at the risk of making it seem like I just am completely incompetent, which I'm not totally incompetent. This time, however, might have been, you just don't know sometimes. If you don't know, you don't know. But a little bit of a long story short, I was having a bad day, but I had a church event that night. Had the men's cornhole event, and my old beater car decided to not work properly in the middle of me driving with groceries and things for the event that I needed to get to and set up for. And I'm like, this is fantastic. The gas is to the floor, but we're sputtering. All right, this is a good sign. Well, I was passing Matthews down here, and I was like, well, if I could just get the Quick Trip parking lot, maybe. I started to smell things burning. I started to see smoke kicking out the exhaust pretty good. I said, I think we're going to stop. That's, like I said, I might not know much, but that seemed like a good sign to probably just stop. So I just pulled it off to the side, and like I said, I was already having a bad day, so I'm like, I just need to get to the church and set up. We got an event tonight. This is not good. So I grabbed my phone, and a couple thoughts went through my head. Who's close proximity that this could be quick? But also, who's going to be able to help me? And I'm not going to name a bunch of names because I'm not going to throw them under the bus. Let's just say I made 5 phone calls and nobody answered. And they were all to different people. Then finally one person answered, but they were in the middle of something. They offered to drop everything. It was Ben McPherson. He was like, dude, I'm on the interstate, but I'll turn around. And I was like, no, it's okay. Just go. You're good. He's like, I just got on the interstate. And I said, no, it's fine. So then finally on like the 7th call, I finally called my dad. I finally called him. And the reasons why he maybe wasn't first, because let's be honest, it was my first thought. But I knew what I was going to hear. I knew this literal 1-minute drive from just across Quick Trip to the church here was going to feel like 20 minutes. It's just, it's another one of those times, What, did you change the oil in this too? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. And for those that remember that story, no, because now I know how to do it, right? But no, so I called him, answered. Technically, my mom answered and brought the phone to him, and I just said, "Hey, Hamilton," which is the name of my car. That's what I call it. It's an old '85 Mercedes, and Lewis Hamilton used to drive for Mercedes Formula One, and he's the greatest of all time. Anyway, so I call it Hamilton, and I said, yo, Hamilton might be dead. And he's like, okay, where are you at? I said, I'm right in front of Quick Trip. And he's like, okay, I'll be out the driveway in 2 minutes. And hung up. And I went into Quick Trip because I'm like, it is hot. Those that know, this beater vehicle, windows don't work, AC don't work. And so I'm like, I'm not sitting in my car, and it's already hot outside. I'm going to walk to Quick Trip, come back, get the groceries out, get things ready, blah, blah, blah. He gets there, jump in the vehicle, and I load up everything in the vehicle. And like I said, I was already having a bad day. And so obviously I was grateful he came to rescue me, but I was probably not wearing it on my face. So I'm just loading stuff in the back of his truck and jump in. And he said, any idea what could be wrong? And I was like, I got a couple ideas. See, I don't have to change the oil in this thing. It changes its own by just leaking. And My dashboard doesn't work for the most part. The speedometer works, although I don't think it's accurate. And so the gas gauge doesn't work. So, but I remember just filling it up not that long ago, but there was possibly a gas leak too. So anyway, hey, this is what you get for, $800. Okay. But yeah, so I'm like, I got a couple ideas. I didn't want to say what they were because I knew, again, what I was going to hear. And so I just let it be that. He helped me out. He drove me up here. He didn't say anything. Unloaded, and he said, "Need anything else?" I said, "Nope. I just got to get going. I'm really late to setting up and getting things going. Charcoal grills, which apparently I'm more incompetent on those than a car. So it's like it was a fun day. Let's just say that. But this whole thing happened, and it all just, I mean, I know it looks like I'm not the brightest bulb, okay? But even I could see exactly what this experience was about. This was about not calling on the Father first. I mean, that just punched me square in the face that night. I was like, well, I preach in a week. I guess I know what my sermon's going to be. And the more I prayed about it, the more I went through digging into this and just spending time on it, I realized, my reason for not calling the Father first was a little bit of shame, right? Shame, because I know I wrote a book, and it's in the book, and it says it's a Williamson saying from day one. It's like it's just ingrained in your brain. Check your oil. It's ingrained. Every time I would leave the house, my dad would say, check your oil. I mean, it was just constant. Okay? So, I mean, there's these things that were ingrained, and sometimes we don't do what we're told or taught or what have been branded upon us or beat into it. No, I'm just kidding. But what have been shared with us. I mean, I think in my life as a PK and then becoming a pastor, I remember once when I was in my late teens, I did like the math on how many sermons I've probably heard in my life. I mean, I went to camp for so many years, went to conferences where you're hearing sermons, and then I was at church every Sunday, and then I was at church on Wednesdays, and you're hearing sermons constantly. I mean, I have heard sermons since I was in the womb. I mean, I've been hearing sermons my entire life, and guess what? I still sin. I still do things wrong. I still don't abide by His word as much as I would like to. And so we can be ingrained with things like check your oil. I'm not going to add any names on it, but check your oil, and you can still just not think about it. You could still not think about it. You could just live your life, and you get busy, and you're running point A to point B and doing this and doing that. Next thing you know, your car's giving out. Now, okay, also, just so you know, I did get home that night. Everything was fine. All right, everything was cool. We got it going. But when we look at what we've been taught, and when we don't do what we've been taught, it's very difficult to take that and turn to the right place. And for lots of reasons. For me, it was shame. I mean, look at Adam and Eve in the beginning. In the beginning, they're in the garden. They are living the best life possible. Best life possible. Okay? I love big cats. Not house cats. I'm talking like lions and tigers and panthers and jaguars. Like, I will sit down and watch an animal documentary. Oh, are you kidding me? I will sit there and watch that and then play the next one. Yeah, keep it going. Just run through them. I can sit and watch animals all day. Not just big cats. Deer hunting, one of my favorite things, is just to be able to watch the deer. Obviously, shooting them is the best. But to just watch, like, I can sit. We went to the zoo a few weeks ago up in the Dells. I'm not going to say the name. I'm going to butcher it, and I don't want to get canceled. But I went to the zoo, and they had these tigers, big old Bengal tiger. Then they had this big old white tiger. And I don't know if you've been to that wildlife park, but they have like the rail and then like 5 feet and then just a wire cage. It's not glass. And they're like rubbing against the cage, just walking right there. And I'm like, yo, they're severely understaffed. I could just, I didn't. I had my kids with me. I didn't want them to see if anything happened. But I'd give up a finger to say I touched a tiger. Are you kidding me? I don't care. The holes weren't big enough for my hand to go through, so it'd just be a finger. But I was sitting there, and I'm pretty sure a half hour went by, and my wife is with the girls, and they're getting antsy, and I'm just like sitting there and this tiger just keeps walking back and forth, and then when it would walk this way, it'd look at me, and I'd be like trying to get it to respond, you know? I'd give it a little teeth, just to see what it would do. And then it did snarl a little bit, and I'm like, we can go now. I think I've made it happy enough. But right on the other side was the lions. And I went on the other side, and we're watching the lions, and my wife had to take Farrah to the restroom, and so I'm sitting there with Alita, and then the lions started to roar. Oh, my word. I don't know if you've ever heard that in person, but, like, it shakes you to your core. It's so loud. It's louder than you can imagine, being there in person when this is going on. And natural instinct, hair on my neck stood up, and something told me to run. Like, it's just natural instinct. But think, Adam and Eve were living in a world where they were just kicking back. They were at peace. The animals, everything was at peace. You could have been riding, bro. I mean, come on. Living a dream. The original Tiger King. Okay, but I mean, it would have been awesome. But then what happens is temptation comes in, and they sin and they fall, and the whole thing happens, the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, and they partake in this, and what do? They hide. They hide. They don't call out to the Father. They hide because of shame. Because of shame. Similar to how I felt. There was bushes nearby. I could have because I had people driving by I was like, please let none of these people be people I know. No. I'm never going to hear the end of it. I ended up getting 2 text messages of people taking a picture of my car and sending it to me. Hey, is this your car? I was like, yep. And then they're like, looks like you got a ticket. I said, no. I left a note in the windshield so I wouldn't hopefully, maybe, possibly get a ticket. But really, it was this shame. But there's lots of other things that keep us from going to the Father. There's pride. I can fix it myself. I could do it. I'll figure it out. Especially people, it's one of the biggest pitfalls for people with a lot of money, with a lot of wealth. Even wealth in knowledge and how to do things and in our first world country, we have such a bountiful, wealthy, to be honest, I get it. There's poor people in America, but, if you go like third world country, I don't know. I think you're doing all right. But really, like, we have such a wealthy ecosystem around us where we don't really have to live by faith just to get water today. We don't have to live by faith to get food today. Like, there's people, we always need faith. I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying the way that our system and society is set up, we default to this. We don't need faith to, I hope I live through today. Some of you might because of sickness or illness. I get it. I'm not trying to talk down about that. I'm talking about in general. The society and culture we live in, we have the answer on every corner. We have YouTube or AI to tell us the answer for so many things. And you can snarl and look down on your nose at AI, but just wait. On some of y'all, I know you're using it. Anyway, but really, like, we have the answers everywhere for everything. We don't have to always turn to the Father for these things because we can figure it out on our own. There's fear. There's fear of what will happen. There's fear of how this is going to turn out. So then, this is like the ostrich. Just put your head in the sand. An issue happens, oh, I'm just going to pretend it's not happening. Like, oh, my car leaks oil. I'm going to pretend that doesn't happen because it's driving until it's not anymore. But, which that always happens. That's always going to happen to you. You put your head in the sand on anything, try to pretend it's not there. Something's always going to happen. It's going to stop working. The car's going to stop. Distractions all around us, so we don't turn to the Father. Condemnation, one of the biggest ones. And you know where this one really, the seed gets planted for this in our life is because of people we turn to. The way you treat somebody when they mess up and they turn to you, how do you respond? And the condemnation that is shared and pushed on us by other people, all of a sudden we take that garbage and baggage and we put it on God, even though that ain't His. Just because people, even people that label themselves Christians, even people that are the church, mistreated you, doesn't mean that's who God is. I get it. Church hurt is real, and I would say this over not just church hurt, but a lot of hurt and offense that people go through. If you carry that and change who you are, and it changes the way you view things and perspective and all this stuff, then you don't really believe in the power of God. You don't. If we believe in the power of God, we will have faith that He heals, restores, and can take that away from us and heal us. And if we hang on to that and let it just, marinate, that's the word, marinate within us, and we just sit in that, and we let it change us and impact us and all these different things, then you're not trusting God. You're not believing in Him. So don't let that stuff keep you away from turning to God. When we look at the prodigal son, goes out, wastes it all, reaches rock bottom, and coming back, the shame and the guilt and all these different things that are going to be churning within him about how his father's going to respond. And what does the father do? The father runs. The father says, I'll be out of the driveway in 2 minutes. When we look at Peter walking on water, taking a step out of the boat, I'm not going to do it. Wouldn't that be crazy? We need to get a harness system so we can start doing that. Anyway, Drewski did it first. Okay. Anyway, it takes oil. Nice. Okay. He's not that funny. You guys gas him up way too much. Oh, man. Okay. Haha. Father's Day is past, so I'm not going to laugh. But Peter's stepping out of the boat, and he's walking on water, and then he starts to sink. What does he do? He turns to Jesus. He reads for his Savior. He doesn't try to swim first. He doesn't try to, Google it first. He doesn't try to, back then maybe encyclopedia, but whatever. His little pocket encyclopedia, I'm sure he had, right? Okay. He doesn't try to do this on his own. He just turns to Jesus, his Savior. So when we look at Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16, I want us to be reminded, let us then approach the throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. A verse to live by. Who are you going to call first? Who are you going to turn to first? Things start happening, things start falling apart. Life isn't where you want it to be. Even if life is good, but you know that there should be something going on spiritually that isn't happening, and you feel lost, you feel broken, you are broke down while everybody else seems like they're flying by. What are you going to do? Who will you turn to? Approach the throne of grace. There's no reason to feel shame or condemnation. We could feel that when it feels like all I've been doing is messing up. I was one of those guys. It just felt like I know. It just felt like I could, as soon as things were going good, I would do something to self-destruct. That was me. Sometimes still feels that way. It's like everything's going good, and then I don't know what happens in my brain, but it says, put your finger in the outlet. It's like, what? Why? Oh, I did it. Okay. Like, I don't know. That just feels like me. And so the condemnation and the shame that comes in with that, where it's like, man, I just can't get this right. Jesus is always there. The Father is always there in our time of need. And when we look at his word, look at what he's shared to us. When I think about this situation with my father and what he's taught me and how I really shouldn't be stranded on the side of the road in this situation for this particular reason. But in Proverbs chapter 3, my son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Taking what we've been taught, writing it on the tablet of our heart, so that as we continue to live, that we acknowledge him in everything. There's going to be times where we mess up. There's going to be times where we fall. There's going to be times where we trip, where we stumble. And there might be times where we trip 7 times in a row. It's like getting up on ice. You ever seen me skate? There's a reason why. Yo, I fall once. I'm getting up. I'm going to fall before I get up. Like, it's just a guarantee. That's what it feels like sometimes spiritually. It feels like I'm trying to get up on ice. And I just keep tripping and stumbling and falling. Well, call on the Father. Call on the Father. It's no knock to any of the guys that I called before my dad. That's no problem. Like I said, it wasn't all because of shame. A little bit of location. I knew some people were closer to me. But really, who should I call? Should I call the person that's never failed me? Or should I call 20 other people that, who knows? I think it's a simple answer. So don't look to the left, don't look to the right, don't look at the things in this world and the podcast and all these things to help you and diagnose you and spiritually mentor you and all these different things. They're not bad for helping you out. It's just like when people ask me about the TV show The Chosen. I say it's really cool, really entertaining and fun, but that should not be where you build your theology. It should not be where you build your relationship with God. It's great to get lost people in the gate, right, in the door, but really, his word is his word. Relationship with him is relationship with him. That's the center of it all. And so we need to be plugged into that. And so in your time of need, where you're at right now, who you are, what's going on in life, and maybe it's good right now, but when it starts to tilt down, you know, like I said, on ice, you know when you're starting to, who are you going to call? Who are you going to turn to? You can stand up with me all over this room. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. He knows better. He is greater. He reigns above it all. So trust in Him. Trust in Him completely. Lord God.